I'm a few minutes late. We'll get started in a few more minutes when there are more people here. Also, hopefully my iPad will start working. But my laptop is working now. Barely, but I'll start in like, what time is it? I'll start at like 8:07, perhaps. I was almost late because I was watching Night Stalker. I should be more scared of it, but I'm not enough, you know. There's too many, like, the only thing that's kind of freaky is like the dead bodies, and that's it. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, in our apartment, we always have trouble trying to figure out what to watch. We watched Bridgerton twice, because the first time we watched it in one night. So, we keep having to try to find new things to watch. And then it ends up being something like the other newest thing on, like, Netflix or something. Alright, I'll just get started since it's like, 8:06. Close enough, whatever. So this is a 5th class. Pretty crazy. Still can't believe that I have 5 classes of this so far. Oh, the Netflix thing? Yeah, so a lot of the things, the one that I caught last night wasn't as, like, I don't know, it was fun. Like, I liked watching it, but it was a lot of, like, things that, like, a lot of artists say, and a lot of writers say about, like, oh, like, you just gotta keep, like, failing, and you gotta keep just doing and pushing and blah, blah, blah. Which is, like, it's still nice to, like, hear. I like hearing writers talk over and over again, even if it's the same thing, because it's, like, it's inspiring, and you realize, like, we're all the same, and we all kind of have, like, the same struggles. I feel like sometimes I go in to these, like, writer things, and I'm trying to find, like, the secret key to writing, and they always just go, you just gotta write, and I go, I don't want to. I don't want, like, that's, like, the hard part about writing, you know? Like, you can have, like, you can know about how to write, you can know structure, you can be a good writer, but the whole point is that you have to write. And I think that's the scariest part of it, you know, is failing and trying and pushing yourself towards it. I really liked today's, what I've seen from it, because I had math class and I tried to watch both. Like, I tried to do my math class and watch it, but, like, it was kind of hard. But I like that one a little bit better because I feel like they had like, I feel like it's more like what I was looking for in like the inspiration and like what kind of like, I think they talked a little bit about development and stuff. I'll have to watch it again and stuff. I'm gonna watch the one tonight as well, and then I'll watch tomorrow's. And I think there's 2 tomorrow. I think, and then I don't think there's any Friday. I don't know. But yeah, they're pretty good. The chat, I've never really like. I always hate going into like these like for young artist chat, like, you know, like speaker things, because in the chats there's always like someone that's like really critical about cartoons in like a way that's just like, you know, like YouTube commentary where it's like, oh well, Mabel never developed well enough, and I'm like, what's okay, nobody like listen to the people. Nobody here writes on Gravity Falls. I don't know. But oh yeah, and the self-promoting, that was a lot. Like, I think I put in like my my Instagram once or something, and that was it, because I was like, I can't, like, these people had like resumes, and I was like, yo, chill out. Like, I get that you want a job, like I want a job, but like, I don't know, it was a lot. And then like I put my name in some like, someone made a spreadsheet with like information for like networking, and now like a bunch of people are following me, and then some like guy, like people are like messaging me, and I'm like, I don't know, that's a lot of pressure. We're talking about the Netflix, it's like the Netflix animation like speaker series, and it's like for writing. I think my cat's trying to come in my room. Anyways, so it's so I forget who was on yesterday, like last night, but it was for like feature animation and like, and kind of like writing for that. And then today's was for like if you're a story artist or like an artist going into writing and all that. And there's like a few more, and I don't know. I just like signed up for all of them because like, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's do it. I definitely like today's because they talked about what did they talk about? They talk like, I liked how they're like, oh yeah, like a lot of the people who start out in animation also write for other things as well. And so like so like a lot of people that start in animation will write like mini series that are like drama, and like, so it's like you realize like you're not limited and like to if you start out in animation. Like, I really want to like be in animation and just like write for it and develop for it, but I like having the option to write for anything, do whatever, you know. Anyways, let's start with the class. It's the 5th class. And it might be the last one of this kind of form. I'll talk about it later. But for this class, I think we're gonna just review the last stuff that I kind of talked about. I found different information about premise and all that, and we're gonna redo what I did last class because my computer was dying, and it wasn't charging, which I figured out. It wasn't the charger, but it's my computer itself. So like the USB-C, both of the ports don't work now. My first one hasn't worked for a few years. Like, I don't know, something like is jammed in there or something, or it's just like crooked. And then now the one that I was using doesn't work at all. So, you know, it's not working. But I have to like hold my charger in the port like at like a strange angle, or like make sure it's in like a certain way and not touch it, and then it will charge. So I need to take it to IT support, but I don't have any time to, and I don't have like Apple Care, so I'd have to do it through my school, I think. I don't know. So I have a PC, but I'd have to port everything onto there, and Scrivenger would make me buy a whole new license. I'm like, I don't really feel like doing that. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to fix it. Anyways, that's fine. It's at 100%. We're good. So we're gonna go over premise in a better way. Like, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit better than I did last time, because I was kind of in like rushing, and I was like, I hadn't done the class in a while, so I was a little nervous. So we're also gonna look at some other resources before that, for writing that I found. And then we're gonna try to like workshop a premise and like talk about like how do you find one, like just do it together and just figure one out, you know. And then kind of work through brainstorming and just like developing the idea, not entirely into a script, but just like into from idea to just like how do you make just an idea, just like a sentence idea, into something a little bit more broader. And then we'll talk about the future of this class. So the resources. So I found this, I think I found it on one of the Discords I'm on, but it is a bunch of fact sheets that can help you with like, you know, like if you're writing more diverse characters and, you know, like people like in cultures and things that you aren't familiar with, and they have like things that can help you, like these sheets that help you like see, oh, here's the harmful stereotypes, and these are things that they want to see more about and like what should be focused on. And I think it's really important. And they have a few different ones from like, you know, like criminal justice. So it's not just like race, but it's also just like idea, like different like ideas and stuff, like with like, you know, like you don't want to have the stereotypical criminal, maybe you could reframe it in a different way, make it a little bit more nuanced, and just like reflect on like what you're writing better. And they have they have like a expanded glossary and stuff. It's pretty interesting and good to look at. And I can post this on my Twitter afterwards, but it's a pretty simple, you know, whatchamacallit, URL. And then here, I don't know if anyone else had done this. This was back in like November when I did this. I was it was November, which is crazy. I felt like it was just like yesterday. And so this is a class that was by Mike Rionda. I talked about it a few times. But if you haven't done it and you have not like watched the classes, or you want to watch them again if you've done it, they're all here online now. And it was awesome. Like I talked about it a lot in my past classes, but it's an awesome like course. And he, of course, he's like an actual writer. He's the director for The Mitchells versus the Machines. He worked on Gravity Falls. He's worked at like, he was like an intern at Pixar or something. But he's like a story kind of person, more like a story artist and like writer than like an animator. And so he kind of goes through the process of like from like the idea of film and like breaking down films, and then also like what makes a film good, what makes stories good, what makes characters good, like from just writing stance to like character design. And I talked about some of this stuff before. He also talks about pitching, which like he like blew my mind with like pitching, and like it made me understand it a lot more. And that's something that I can't talk about like on here in these classes, because I've never pitched before. So I can't obviously tell you anything that you need to know about it. But obviously someone who has pitched a whole movie to a studio can tell you how to pitch, you know. So that's that. There's a few other ones online that are like this. I mean, the Netflix writing series is really good. I think tomorrow, I can try to find it in my email. Don't mind my email, but I just signed up. I don't think I'll catch it, but it's with Stage 32 and Netflix. Yeah, I think that was the email. It's free, and it's tomorrow at Thursday, February 4th, and it's for pitching, like stories. It's just like a work. I don't know if it's a workshop. I don't know if it's just like you are like. There's gonna be a lot of people a part of it. Yeah, I can link it in. I can link. Yeah, that'd be smart. Discord. Yeah, I can link that in Discord. Let me. And I can put it on Twitter as well. Wait, did I just exit that? Oh my god. Where did it go? I exited out of something. Oh, I'm going to Discord. I'm like totally out of it. I've been like in my apartment because it's like I'm snowed in. And I mean, I've been in here anyways for like weeks and weeks and just doing my math class and then playing League of Legends in between. So my brain is like mush. And so here's the mic for the class. And then here's the fact sheets. There you go. All right. So that's that. Those are just some of the resources that I have. And so we're gonna get back into premise. And I was too lazy to just copy everything into this PowerPoint. So I'm just gonna take this article and I'm gonna show it to you. It's from Masterclass, and they have like a bunch of really, like a lot of the classes that I've done in the past have been based off of these articles. And they're pretty, like, they go through a lot of things. Like, these are free. Like, I mean, you can pay $100 for the masterclass, or you can just read, I guess. Like, I'd love to take a masterclass and do that. I know that I've thought about it in the past. I know that, like, one of my teachers at my old school was like, yeah, you gotta do it. It's, like, it's such a good resource. I'm like, I'm not, you wanna pay $100? Like, I don't know. Like, not me. I got $100. That's like, that's a lot of like Chipotle. So let's get back into premise. So here Masterclass says that a strong premise should include 3 elements in a single sentence. So it should have the main character, and so it should be like a brief description. So it shouldn't be like the whole name, the whole like everything about them. Just make it kind of like you see here, a teenage wizard or a grizzled detective. It tells very basic things about these characters. And, you know, you don't want to add too much because then that makes it a little bit too complicated, and you just want to get the essence of what the character is, especially how the character is at the beginning of your story instead of, like, the whole development of your character. And then your character's goal, you want to add that. So that should be like, you know, I think I've used like the dog who wants to become a unicycling like champion or whatever. You know, that would be his goal. And then like the obstacle would be he's a dog, he's not allowed to enter into that, you know, competitions or whatever. So you want to just add these 3 things. And these aren't things that need to be, like, totally, you know, like, fleshed out. Obviously, a premise is, like, if you're going to pitch something, I guess you'd want it to be really, like, well thought out, like a log line, really. But if it's just, like, for yourself and you're just, you know, writing your own thing and you're just trying to figure it out, just go basic, just go, you know, just try to figure out something so you're not like flopping around while you're writing and brainstorming. So how do you create a strong premise? So it can begin with a theme. And so this is just like to help you bounce off of something. I know that when I was looking up like resources for this, that like on Writer's Digest, they perceive the premise to be like the theme or like message. And I don't believe that's it. Like, I don't think that. Like, I think theme is a part of, you know, like your ideation and like creating your story and like the basics of it. Like, obviously, like if you're gonna write like, oh, like this is a movie about Spider-Man and I wanted to really teach kids about that they can be a hero themselves. That's a premise. But like, you know, it's not, the whole thing isn't the theme, you know. But you can begin with a theme. You know, sometimes you just start with an idea and then you find the theme later. Sometimes you begin with a theme. So like if you want to talk about how technology is bad, like, or scary or whatever, then you can try to bounce off of that and find a premise, and like a story through that. I think I talked about it before with like Pixar, how I think they used to just go with a lot of like their stories with just like, oh, there's a rat that wants to cook, and then they go, oh, well, this can be about how anyone can be whatever they want and shouldn't limit themselves, you know. But now it's kind of like theme first, and like, you know, Inside Out was like, oh, we need to understand our emotions better, and you know, our emotion, like, people are multifaceted and can be sad. Sadness is okay, you know. And then they go, oh, well, now let's do that, but in a 12-year-old's brain. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen Soul yet, but that's like, I would rather just see a movie about a guy who loves like jazz rather than a movie that's about like, I don't know, a journey, this like grand journey through like metaphysical, I don't know, soul space. I don't know. But I haven't seen it yet, so I can't judge it too much. That's how I felt, like, coming off of like a lot of people's like reactions from it. But so you can also just start with like a simple question. Sometimes you think of a character, so like I know a lot of artists have like original characters and they don't know what to do with them, or like they're like, oh, they would be like interesting to write about, but they don't know how to like bounce off of that. So you can ask yourself like questions of like, what if, you know, like, what if this character did this, and what if they met someone they didn't like, and you know, you can go off of that, and that's really helpful. I would say even like asking yourself questions in the beginning or even through the process of writing and like brainstorming is helpful, because you can kind of like figure out, like, you can push your characters, you can push, you know, how far your story is going through like these questions. And like, because if you're just going on like the straight like, oh, this story is about Spider-Man and I want it to be about, you know, like teaching kids how to be a hero, but what is Spider-Man gonna do? Then you have to ask yourself that, like, what if you put him into this situation? What if you put him into, you know, what if he becomes a bad person? You know, you have to think beyond like the safe zone of your story that you have now, and beyond even your premise sometimes, because your premise should not be like, in the beginning it should be more flexible, and the end then it becomes more solid, you know. So also make sure that your characters have strong motivation in what they're doing, because obviously if your character doesn't have a lot of motivation, or doesn't have like an interesting one, then it's not gonna really, you know, you're not gonna sell your idea, you're not gonna really like find the story that you really want to, I guess. But you can also, you know, just have it doesn't have to be like grandiose motivation about like saving the world or something, but it can be like, you know, simple, and that's fine. And you want it to be like, your premise should be pretty short. If it's too long, then, you know, you're going to complicate yourself in the process. You're going to complicate other people that are trying to figure it out. So like, you know, like they say here about the log line and like how strong your log line is, like you can sell it. Like you can sell your whole script with just that long line. And like you can sell your whole story idea with just like a log line. Sometimes you can't, because sometimes, you know, stories are hard to put into one sentence, and that's fine. But you want it to be like, you know, you want to be able to just sum up your story in a way that's short, easy to understand, and still interesting, which is hard to do. Like, writing just like log lines can be difficult, and writing like these premises can be. And that's it. I think I have another one. So here's some ways of finding like, you know, inspiring story premises and stuff. So you can ask questions as before. Like, what would happen if, this one says, what would happen if people built a colony on Mars and filmed a daily life for a TV show? What would happen if a major pharmaceutical company found out researchers were about to announce a cure for a pandemic that would make the company, yeah, that makes the company, it's great as well. How would each party's competing interests play out? I guess we'll see during these few months. Yeah, like, let's see. Like, they don't have to be a high concept like that. Like, they have here, they have the premise for Pride and Prejudice, which I think this one would be long. I'd just be like, oh, what would a young woman do in British Regency era if she met someone that was, like, mean? And, like, but she has to marry someone. I don't know, like, something like that. But yeah, like, again, it doesn't have to be, like, super, super duper. Like, I think a lot of writers, and especially young writers, think they have to go, like, above and beyond and, like, high concept, super duper, like, you know, like, we're in space. And, like, that's fine. But, like, especially if you're starting out and you want to just practice writing, sometimes writing, you know, just, like, oh, like a coming of age story, or like a romance, you know, like, those are fine. Like, those are just as interesting and can be as, like, a high concept, like, you're fighting monsters and all that. Ensure your story premise contains potential for major change. Yeah, so you don't want to, like, especially in the beginning, you don't want to be so, you know, like, clear cut with what you want to do. Some people are like, you know, I know what I want, I know this, and blah, blah, blah. But your script is going to change at the end. So your premise is obviously going to change. And sometimes it's okay to completely switch it up. And, like, I remember I had a teacher in it was my fiction workshop class. And he said, sometimes you write stories and you become, like, fascinated with, like if you're writing a story and you're not getting anywhere with, like, the characters that you have now, then, like, you can, like, if you find, like, a character that you do like, sometimes you just need to change the perspective and, like, look at it from a different character. Like, look at it from, like, a supporting character, look at it from, like, the mom in the story. Something, whatever makes it more interesting. So if you're, like, having trouble writing that one story, write it from a different angle, and then maybe that's your story, you know? this also says make sure your characters have strong motivations. Because the motivation and their desire is what is going to push themselves, like, into the story. And I remember seeing a Twitter thread. I don't think I can find it now because it was a while ago. And I didn't read it all, but it was just, like, about passive characters and how there are a lot of, like, they're not necessarily bad, but, like, I have trouble because I write a lot of passive characters, mainly because I'm a person that, like, things don't happen, like, I just watch things unfold, and so, like, a lot of my characters become like that, like, they just, like, are, like, they don't push themselves to do things, or they don't cause things to happen. But, like, you know, more interesting main characters and stories usually have characters with a lot of goals and motivations that push themselves and cause things to happen. Yeah, especially, like, yeah, with, like, especially with, like, there's so many, like, not royalty free, but, like, out of, what are they called? Like, out of that, like, copyright or whatever. But there's so many stories out there that you can just, like, take, like, fairy tales and just, like, completely change it. One of my favorite books in middle school, like, I read it every year, was, oh my god, I forget what it was called. But it was the one with, oh, I have to look it up. It's, is it Stepmother book? Oh, I forget. It's, The Fairest of Them All. I read it, like, so many times because it was so, like, interesting. And it just goes from, like, her perspective of, like, oh, she's, like, sad, her, like, husband's dead, and then, like, shows her, like, how she becomes, like, evil, or, like, it makes her kind of not, like, a villain anymore, which is, like, kind of, like, dumb, or whatever, but, like, I really enjoyed it growing up. Like, it was just interesting to, like, step back and see other characters' perspectives, and, like, follow other characters. Like, that one, Cinderella movie, like, the third one, where they, like, look at, like, one of the stepsisters also, like, they follow her story. I find that interesting, you know? Like, I think, like, my favorite also, like, books and stuff, and, like, stories are ones that don't focus on just, like, one character's perspective, and, like, they kind of follow more than one. So, like, you get several angles of the same, like, situation in a way. Like, Pachinko, oh, I don't have it with me. Oh, I have to look up who wrote it, because I always get her name wrong, and I don't want to get it wrong again. Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. She, like, this book is, like, pretty amazing, because she follows not just one character, and then she, like, follows, like, many, like, she'll go off and, like, there'll be, like, a side character who, like, I don't know, sells, like, candy, and she'll, like, talk about how that character, like, why they're there, why they're acting this way, like, what they're thinking, and then, like, their daughter, and how they're trying to marry them off, and, like, how do you, like, keep that all, like, all together? And so, like, it's not just about a premise of, like, a main character, it's a premise of, like, a cast of characters, or a setting, almost. Like, think of, like, Grey's Anatomy, think of, I mean, Bridgerton is, like, they have main characters. But you also follow other characters around, and see what they're thinking, and it's so much more interesting than just, like, following one character, and only knowing what they think, and, you know, like, many action movies kind of do. Like, I'd rather watch a movie where I'm, like, seeing how everyone feels, instead of just, like, one, you know, character. This one also says find a story within themes that fascinate you. So if you want something about, you know, abuse of power in the government, you know, make a story. You can like recycle classic story ideas and structures. So they do Persephone, like the myth of Persephone. I mean, there's so many like like you could do like anything really. And then also you can get inspiration from real life events. Like I remember reading, what was it? In my script writing class, for I think it was our original scripts, because we did 2 scripts, and it was like an adaptation one, which you saw in the last class, I think, or a few classes ago. And then we did an original one, which I think I talked about in the last one. But someone had written, which I have the notes on and everything. Someone had written one about, I forget what the family was called, but it was 2018. So it was when that like family, of like had like their kids in their basement, and they had like adult like children living with it, like, and there was like an abusive situation. So it was that like thing, and then like information was coming out day by day basically about this family. And so he was writing the script, and then he would write like his script, and we'd have to write notes, and I'd be like, you should have this in there because this is really interesting. Because like I remember one note that I wrote was like, oh, you should add the dog in because like they have a dog, but they like treat him really well. So you can, you know, get inspiration from real life events. I don't like when I don't say like do it like exactly, but maybe like if you hear something like I don't know, like I'm trying to figure out, like say there was like a flood and you're like, oh, maybe I like do a story about a flood. I mean, don't profit off of other people's like trauma and stuff, but you know, figure out you know, like sometimes you just like get inspired by something that even happens to you, to someone that you know. Like every day I think about writing about like my experiences at the daycare that I work at in the summers, because it's like crazy there. But I haven't yet because that's a feat of its own. Yeah, there is like, so like all stories are definitely like the same things over and over again. Like it's so like all structures are the same. Like there's no difference in like you can find a story and like I could like pick a book off my shelf right now, which I haven't read most of them, but I can be like, oh, this really reminds me of blah blah blah, and it will. So, and like a lot of like fairy tales, a lot of heroic stories are all the same thing over and over again, but good writing, good premises are what keep them like separate from each other. It's what distinguishes them. It's how we know like Mary Poppins from Nanny McPhee. You know, both are about nannies. Both are about these kids and families changing, but they're different. They have different premises. They have different characters, different writing. So we're gonna try to make our own premise. So I'm gonna ask you guys. See, either you can just like tell me things, or I was gonna like find like a Mad Lib thing, but a Mad Lib might be too long, or like a story generator. It's whatever you guys want to do. I think my like chat is lagging. I can find like, I was also thinking like we could find like a news story. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like a weird story, like a weird news story, like a Florida man news. See, like here, man with Florida tattooed on his forehead, accused of calling 911 to ask for a ride home. We can look at that. I could look at Rory's story cubes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is a... I think I've used these before. I've definitely done, like... something. I can either do this. I know... there's... like, other places. I've definitely done one before. Let me see. I'll look up premise. Reedsy has like a bunch. Let's see. Generate. Let's see. So here's one. A space princess who has a strong moral compass. And then there's also another character, an ex-convict who is kind. And then the plot is, it's a military science fiction story about the dangers of modernization. It kicks off in the year 2080 in the sentence, for the second time in a day, the clock around the world stopped. And then there's a twist. The protagonist will lose the last war. I don't know if I like this one. Mainly about the modernization. But I do like the space princess. Maybe an apocalyptic about recreating memories. It kicks off between... Okay. So, maybe we'll do this one. So, an astronaut and a space princess. So if we were to write this, let me get on Scrivenger. I'll do a script just in case. I'll do this. And if you want to do this also, and just like, if you have like different ideas with this, if you're like super inspired by this, then go ahead and also like write with me, I guess. I'm gonna do it in research. Maybe I'll put it in notes. All right. So we have here we're gonna make this into a cleaner premise. So we have, I'm gonna only take this part. So we have oh, this is gonna do like a script format. Let me just do general text. Okay. An astronaut, or maybe I'll do an ambitious astronaut. How was he ambitious? Astronaut. And so if this is, so this sentence right here isn't going to be helpful. It kicks off between two asteroid belts and a chase between the stars. I mean, that would be like fun to like, if you're pitching, you're like, yeah, it's like, it starts between, you know, through the stars and blah, blah, blah. But it's not going to help me in a premise. So we're going to take these two things. And then we're going to take, you know, this about like an apocalyptic kind of thing. And maybe something about recreating memories. Let's see if we can do this. I don't know if I like the about resistance and revolt. Exploration of space. Hypocrisy of war. Ethical limits of technology. If we want to make this Black Mirror. Maybe, yeah, the bonds of, so the astronaut, we need to figure out how he's ambitious. Why is this astronaut ambitious? Maybe they, and you guys can say anything in the chat. He wants, an ambitious astronaut wants to explore further than any other astronaut and meets a fun after the Earth is after the Earth is maybe we'll do the Earth is decaying, and an ambitious astronaut wants to explore further than any other astronaut has, and meets a because she loves puns. Let's make her like, I don't know, like a youthful, any astronaut has to find his people a new home. Maybe, yeah, a new home. And meets a fun-loving, space princess who, a pun-loving, who changes his who helps him find his way, who shows him what life is really about. I don't know. Shows him what life is really about, or something. So here we are. So this is a premise, although I don't feel like this is telling us enough. But we have room to expand on it. So here we are. So now we have a premise, and so how I would go off of this would be I would go sleep or take a shower and then like think about it for a while and then never write it down. But we're gonna do it now and we're gonna write. So let's see. So the Earth is decaying, and okay, so let's see. So we'll take the years. The year is 312. So, and also on here it says like, I feel like we're cheating. Because, you know, people sometimes don't, you know, writers don't got this. But, you know, maybe the astronaut used to be he used to be like a juvenile delinquent and was like, it was in like he was like a street, like maybe he was in like a gang, like he just like did, like he like stole from people because he felt that was what he wanted to do. Oh, I like that one. I like that. Let me change that. Who will help astronaut if they allow us, if they help her first. So Yusmin was like in a, and then finding friendship along the way. Yeah. Used to be, but was in a, so he was like a juvenile that was like in a gang as a child until he, I don't know, joined the Space Academy. He wants to, like, I don't know, maybe he has like a let's figure out the Space Princess, because she doesn't, so the Space Princess maybe wants to run away from her home planet because, I don't know, I don't want to do like an arranged marriage. I feel like that's kind of like a, yeah, he feels he's done bad, yeah, so he feels like he's done bad things and needs to redeem himself. What if, well, okay, I'm thinking what if he has like a dead mother, or not a dead mother, but like a sick family member who, like, that's why he was in the gang, and then and like was stealing stuff and like trying to get money for them, but also he was just like also just a delinquent, you know, like he was just doing bad stuff, but he mainly did it for them, and then their like the last dying wish was for him to I don't know, to find a new home, a better place, or maybe like they're not like dying yet, but they're like, that's their dying wish. They're like, oh, can you please, like, I want to see, like, I don't know, if the earth is decaying, like, imagine like Wally, gross, trash, gray. They're like, oh, I really want to see the stars, or like, I really want to see a blue sky. Okay, let me. Okay. You wants to find a new planet for his people because I'm gonna say like a dying, like his sister who is very sick wants, like, yeah, wants to see, yeah. Yeah, it is a little late. Yeah, listed as guardian for his dying child and wants to find a safe place for them. Yeah. Ooh. I do like that. I think I like that better than, because I think it's like, I think that makes him less selfless, you know? Or what if he doesn't join, he's like, he's forced into the Space Academy, so now he's like, he's like, oh, now I'm here, and now I have to do this, and then, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like the parents. Like, he doesn't, astronaut, thing, has, like, maybe his parent, yeah, like, he's, I don't know, like, an orphan, or, like, I don't know, I'm thinking, like, he's, Why would he be forced? Because I feel like maybe he did something bad, and maybe like someone, yeah, I don't know, like the military draft. I don't know. Yeah, like the same people, they'd send their kids to military school. Yeah, like that. Like he's done something pretty bad, and then his parents are like forced to send him there. I'll give him, what if I give him, like, should I do, like, overbearing parents, something doesn't like his parents, something like that, until, I don't know, maybe I'll put that somewhere else. I feel like I should take this out, and then he doesn't, maybe he has, like, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like his parents and acts out because of it. One of his missions. Yeah, like, I'm thinking because this is apocalyptic, like, you could, like, maybe there's, like, a sickness that, like, that's, happening, like, you know, there's pollution and whatever, and so, someone's child is, like, dying or, like, can't withhold the conditions of Earth, and so they have to, like, leave. That'd be interesting. But I don't know. I'll think about that one. That does remind me of, like, what was that one show? The 100 or whatever. Where they, like, I only watched, like, the first 2 episodes, and then I was like, this is kind of lame. But yeah. Yeah. Okay, so one of his missions is to find a new home for like a child who will die in the polluted air of Earth. Kind of weird, like worded weirdly. But you know, sometimes you just like write it down and then it kind of sounds weird. So one of his missions is to find a new home for a child who will die in the polluted air of Earth. But it's like it seemed like he has to take it because no one else wants it, kind of thing. Which he does, which is seen as an impossible mission. Okay, so the Space Princess. Where does she come in? So, yeah. So the Space Princess needs to, like, they're already in space. He's with this child. Maybe it's like, they stop on a planet, they, I don't know, need spaceship gas, and then they meet the Space Princess. Wants to run away from her home planet because she doesn't want to, like, maybe, I'm trying to think, because her parents would have to, like, I'm thinking, like, maybe if she's a princess, then her parents would have to be dead for her to become queen, so it can't be, like, a responsibility thing, or maybe, like, because the only thing I can, like, think of would be, like, Yeah, maybe she's like anti-world. Like, she's kind of like him and like, you know, like rebelling against, you know, society in a sense, or like trying to be something, I don't know, that she's not. I'm trying to think. Yeah, like maybe she's like, yeah. Because she doesn't believe in royalty and wants to, maybe she wants to like, maybe he hears that he's taking this child to a new planet and starting like a new, not like society, but like a new, like trying to figure out a new place to be. She's like, I can help. She wants to create a new society as well, in a sense. Like, I'm thinking, so the space princess wants to run away from her home planet because she doesn't believe in royalty and wants to, she's Queen Elizabeth, imagine. Wants to run away from her home planet because she doesn't believe in royalty and wants to create her own society based on her own, like, ideas. But then, I don't know, I'm just writing things down, but then realizes that things can't be perfect. Like, something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking of like, oh my god, like I watched the Defunct Land. Yeah, the Defunct Land on what was it? On Epcot, and how Walt Disney wanted to like Epcot was like, he was like, I don't want government in this. I want to be autonomous and I'm the king of it. And I'm like they didn't want any of the people to like vote. He was just like, I want this image. Yeah. Like, I'm thinking, yeah, or like, okay, so things can be perfect. So she realizes that she can be, like, I mean, she's like a royalty. Like, she can change the society and help make her planet or city or whatever good, and like actually help it and save it. Okay. She realizes that she can change the conditions, I'm gonna say her kingdom, home, because she is able. Okay, so she wants to, doesn't believe, okay, so I'm gonna change this to because she believes her parents aren't ruling correctly, and the kingdom is in shambles and unsavable, and wants to create her own society. Unsavable. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know, this is pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna pretend that unsavable is a word. So we have this first premise here, and then now we have a lot of things that change. So I'm gonna say, in the year 312, I'm gonna say I'm thinking, because you can't call it, sure, he's like kind of an astronaut now, but now he has to be called, like, I'm thinking he would be like a Cause not a criminal. Like, I don't want to put juvenile delinquent or like a young street young a young criminal young a trying to think. In the year the earth is decaying and a person and a young, yeah, I like troublemaker better. A young troublemaker drafted into the Space Academy is tasked with a mission to find a child a better planet, a planet with a better a weasel, yeah, a young rascal. To find a child on a planet with a better environment to live on. On this mission, they come across a space princess that that runs away from that wants to run away from her title and home planet in order to I'm trying to find like a not destroyed like shambled, no, that's not a word. Maybe wait. That'd be kind of interesting if like maybe he's like, this is the perfect conditions, but they don't allow like, I don't know, humans or like foreign entities, so he has to gain their trust. That'd be interesting. I don't know, maybe I'll put that as like a, I don't know, because the thing is, I don't know. I have to think about it. It's her title and crumbling home planet to create her own utopia. Together, these two are likely unlikely friends. I was gonna say partners in crime. I don't know. Yeah, like I think there has to be, maybe like he'll use her, I don't know, because I guess she'd have like esteem everywhere else in the galaxy. I don't know, or at least in their galaxy. Will together these two unlikely friends will realize their true responsibilities and decide I don't know, and understand people. I don't know. She's into communism. Together, these two unlikely friends will realize their true responsibilities and what it means. What did I say? What it means to be, I don't know, people alive. Yeah, I was thinking that he could, like, I feel like during this whole journey, he's like, I don't want to do this. Because, like, obviously he's like, this is his first mission. Even though he went through the Space Academy, now he's, like, learned discipline. Now he has, like, the freedom. He's kind of out there with this, like, child. And, like, maybe he's like, oh, I can just leave this child anywhere. Yeah, but then, like, because, yeah, it would be interesting to see, like, because there's obviously these two societies now that are crumbling and decaying. And obviously now they're realizing this. It'd be interesting. Yeah. Like, maybe there's a force doing that. And the thing is, if they're going to a new society, how would they, I don't know. Well, maybe, Okay. I think we're gonna have to stop because it's like 9:15 for me. And like, I think in an hour, the next Netflix speaker series thing. I don't know what tonight is. I can look. Netflix speaker. Let me see. This one. I have. Where's the. There it is. There. I think. I don't know what tonight is. Today's day 2. Oh, this is writing for children's programming. I don't know these writers. Well, yeah, I do. But yeah, and then tomorrow is that. Oh, that would be funny. Oh, and then we're like, he's like, I'm dropping this kid off, and then she's like, no. Like, maybe she, like, forces him to, like, have the child, like, something like that. But yeah, I think we need to stop here. But yeah, this was fun. And if you want to, like, take this idea, I probably won't expand on it. Even though I think it's pretty interesting. But if anyone wants to work on this, then, you know, have fun. I can post this somewhere if you want. I can, maybe, like, here. Do you want me to copy and paste it into Discord? Because I can do that. Let me see. Oh, this is not that. But yeah, I can put it in later. I'm trying to find you look at my other email. Where is it? Here it is. So now that we did that premise, it was really fun. You can just kind of see, like, I just wanted to show what, you know, how to get an idea out, how messy it is, how it changes. And also I love working with other people and, like, figuring out ideas, because it's just like, you say something and then I go, whoa, yeah, and then it changes, and then it fluctuates. It's why I want to be in a writer's room so bad, because I know I would love it. Like, it'd be so much fun. But to conclude today, so the future of this class. So I'm thinking about changing how this class is, and maybe changing it to just like a live stream of just me writing on screen. Maybe just like, it's more casual than like a lesson and a PowerPoint, and it'll just be like a time, like an hour or something, like a week or 2 weeks like we've been doing, and it'll just be like just writing together or just like creating something together. So it's just a time set that like we can like either talk it out, you can like message me, you can even like send me something, like if you want me to help you workshop, or like someone has like an idea and they just want to like, I don't know, work it out, but also just like, you can just watch me write, you can watch me, you know, think out loud like I just did, and like come up with ideas. And it'll be just like to force ourselves to write, because even though I do these classes, I've not been writing in weeks. I forget the last time I wrote. It was a while ago. And I need to finish scripts. I need to actually do something. So then I have it for my portfolio, and I have the practice. And I want to help other people have that time and make it a little less intimidating. And just like, you know, I'll have notes maybe sometimes. Maybe I'll talk about certain things if I'm like writing something and I'm like, oh, this is how you do dialogue. I don't know. Or if I find resources like I did today, I can help share them and stuff. But yeah, if anyone wants to add anything, you can, you know, message me somewhere or wherever. But yeah, I want to, you know, just help people write, make it feel less intimidating. You know, like when someone on Twitch is like drawing, and you're like, oh, well then if they're drawing, I'll draw too, something like that. But yeah, because I know a lot of people have like either like they have like focus issues, or, you know, like they can't focus enough, like I can't, or they just have like anxiety around creating things, and like this will be like together we'll all just force each other to write, and or to draw, whatever. Like if you're trying to develop something, you can come and that'll be your time to do it during the week or something. But also, I think I also wanted to add, because I know the classes, which start up to back up again for open animation tomorrow, that I could go over some of like the stuff that Tyler talks about, and because it's going to be more story focused, so I want to, you know, maybe include some of that stuff, and like maybe either go like a little bit more in depth in it, or I don't know, just like reiterate it, maybe show it in practice in some way if he talks about scripts, or, you know, story structure. I don't know, like I can find scripts to even like show examples and stuff. But yeah, like I'd rather it be a different kind of structure than the PowerPoints. Obviously, like today, it wasn't even like really a PowerPoint, but it was much more fun, and I think it was much more helpful than what I was doing in the past. At least that's how I feel. I feel like showing people, and you know, just doing something in practice and thinking, and I don't know, just like it's just something a little bit different. But yeah. I'll probably start up again in 2 weeks. That'll be what, the 17th? Yeah. Which will be what, that says it's a holiday. It'll be Ash Wednesday. So I think that's what it says. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, thank you for coming. I had a lot of fun with doing the premise, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks again. You know, I'll post this on YouTube like I usually do. If you want to share with your friends, want to rewatch it, if you want to, I don't know, listen to my voice again. So thank you for coming. Have a good rest of your evening. I will see you in 2 weeks. Or if you, I don't know, follow me on Twitter, follow me on whatever, you'll see me. All right. Thank you. Bye.